Welcome to Popular Pixel. On this episode of MiniPixel, we're going to be taking a look at Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo, originally released on September 13th, 1993, a day that was dubbed as Mortal Monday, the day that all the versions of Mortal Kombat would be released outside of the arcade. Now, the Super Nintendo game was developed by Sculptured Software and published by Acclaim. Now, Nintendo, because of their family friendly views, they basically forced Sculptured Software to not have any of the gore in the game. None of the blood, none of the fatalities were allowed to be in it. So the Super Nintendo game did lose out on quite a few sales, but the Super Nintendo version of the game, by most standards, of course, looked way better than the Genesis. But that wasn't enough to keep it afloat, considering what this game is all about. So we're going to go ahead and get our timer going here and get into a game. Now, some of the wonderful things about Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo is because of the ability to have more colors on screen and a larger palette to choose from, the game did actually look a lot better. As you take a look at the sprites in this, you'll see that they do have a photorealistic look to them as opposed to the Genesis version, which had a much more darker tone to them. And that's one of the things that really drawed me in on the Super Nintendo. Not to mention, of course, I was kind of a Super Nintendo, well, just a Nintendo fanboy in general. Let me see here. Let's go after Sub Zero. The Super Nintendo version also had more frames of animation as opposed to the Genesis, but they fixed a lot of that when they did port the game over to the Sega CD. Now, one of the things that really becomes an issue for the Super Nintendo version of this game is that the controls are not very responsive. Sorry for cheesing my way through that on Sonya, but whatever. Um, when you press a button, there seems to be a bit of lag. Now, I am, of course, emulating this game on the Polymega, so don't even try to say that that was part of the reasoning. But if you play this game on the Super Nintendo, you notice that lag. I can play this game on the Sega CD on the Polymega, and there's no issue. And of course, I can play games like Street Fighter or other like music games, and there's no issue there either. But this was specific to the game. It was the controlling just was really bad. They really needed to take some more time to fine tune some of it, but Sculptured Software, alas, did not do that. Now, some of the backgrounds actually suffered a little bit here too. You can see in the background here on the arcade version, there should have been some mountains kind of jutting up. Oh, there, now you can see it over on the edge. I could have sworn, I might be wrong about that, but I could have sworn there should have been visible mountains in the background, not just so much a blue sky. I may have to go back and actually take a look to find out for sure. But from what I recall in the arcade, that's what it was. Very limited, of course, being the first Mortal Kombat game. You only had one fatality per character, whereas with some of the later games, you were able to actually have multiple fatalities for each character, along with babalities, friendships, those sorts of things. But very limited, like I said, when it comes to the first game. But the first game was very iconic. Obviously, I mean, it started a whole new series, which is still living to this day. I hate when that happens. Freeze them in the air and you can't even uppercut them, or if they're on the ground, you freeze them a little bit too early and you can't uppercut them. Oh, dang. Alright, I think he's got the best of me here. He perfect me. That sucks. Alright. Well, it's been quite a while since I played the Super Nintendo game here. And anytime you don't play a game for a while, you definitely lose out on some of your practice that you once had. But I'm going to switch over to Scorpion here. I still have about 30 seconds, so I'll probably play through the rest of this area at least. Yeah, I definitely want to get a chance to knock Liu Kang down into the pit. Ah. Ooh. Well, maybe I'll be the one getting knocked down into the pit. We'll have to see.
Liu Kang wins.
The AI in this game was horrible. Basically, the AI can tell what you are doing. It almost seems like before you even do it yourself. Obviously, that's not the case, but it was programmed to be able to tell what was going on by your inputs. And I thought that was rather cheesy. And that's the way the arcade version was. Come on, knock me. Ah, come on, knock me in the pit.
Liu Kang wins.
All right. Well, that is 5 minutes and 40 seconds, so I'm going to back out of there. So, Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo. Is this something that I suggest? Yes, it is. I do have a lot of fond memories playing this game on the Super Nintendo, and sometimes I do like picking this one up and playing it, even though I have better versions of Mortal Kombat that I can go back to. I think the stance that Nintendo had with the gore really makes this game stand out. Now, back in the day, of course, it was a bad kind of standout, I guess you could say. But I come back to this game mainly because it is different from the other versions of the Mortal Kombat. Not to mention, it is a really good-looking game, but it does have the issues with the controlling as you get into that. But as far as the graphics and sound, I definitely can't complain. When it comes to Super Nintendo game, it's a beautiful game. The sound is pretty good. It's not obviously the best. It could be better, and it can be better if you're using one of the mods, or not one of the mods, but one of the IP patches. But of course, I didn't want to do that for the MiniPixel. So I'm going to actually give Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo a 3-star, and we're going to go ahead and lock in that rating. But until next time, guys, I hope to see you soon, and why don't you pop on down to the comments. Tell me what you thought about the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat. Did you have some fond memories of playing this one, or did you get the Genesis version? Or would you rather just stay away from this game outright? Go ahead and write it down in the comments. But until next time, guys, we'll catch you later. Keep on gaming.